Not Just a Silly Old Bear, a reflection on the Tao of Pooh by Heather Anderton. Benjamin Hoff, the author of The Tao of Pooh, takes classic characters from a beloved and infamous childhood storybook and uses them to teach important lessons and principles of the Chinese philosophy of Taoism. A. Maline's character of Winnie the Pooh is known most for being just a silly old bear who loves honey and is a good friend. He's helpful and he's curious. Taoism is based on preconceived notions of how life should be and lets the universe's natural order guide us. By allowing that power to guide your mind within yourself and nature, you can find contentment and joy in the simple living. Relating the characters to the book to essential principles of Taoism gives the reader a new perspective on how to look at things in a new and profound way. There are also several major themes and lessons outlined in the book that the characters can come to life and give the reader a better understanding of the life of a Taoist. Taoism originated in China and is considered a philosophy and a religion. Taoism focuses on living a life of balance and simplicity, following the natural flow and recognizing one's uniqueness. Tao is translated as the way and the path to perfect peace and harmony. It is a force outside of any human control. Each of these principles is displayed throughout the characters in the book. The way Hoff chooses to use the characters to display multiple Tao principles is unique and clever, making them more accessible for the reader to understand. The book opens by looking at a painting of three figures representing the three teachings of China: Buddha, Confucius, and Lao Tzu, sitting around a table all tasting vinegar. The first man, Confucius, has a sour look on his face. The second man, Buddha, has a bitter expression, and Lao Tzu is there smiling. This painting represents how Taoists change what others perceive as unfavorable into something positive. The main character, of course, is the beloved Winnie the Pooh, portrayed as the uncarved block. The principle of Pooh refers to the ability to enjoy simplicity in life. Pooh says that all things in their original state conduct situations in their natural power. Winnie the Pooh is an example of this because he lives a life of simplicity and spontaneity. Things in life always work out for him with little effort on his part. Pooh sees inconvenient situations with fairness and reacts appropriately. He enjoys his routine and never questions why things are the way they are. Winnie the Pooh is also associated with the Taoist principle of Wu Wei. Hoff calls it the Pooh Way. It means without doing, causing, or making, allowing life to flow like water in a stream, reflecting like a mirror, and responding like an echo. Owl, however, is the opposite of Pooh. He believes he is truly knowledgeable. He searches for answers to questions from books. Owl's purpose of knowledge is not to change others around him, but to be educated or scholarly. He holds wisdom within his knowledge. Taoists believe that knowledge gained from life experience holds more value and meaning than scholars or books. Owl can be hard to talk to because he sees his intelligence as a competition with others. Eeyore is also knowledgeable, like Owl, but he uses his knowledge in a pessimistic way. His outlook is not on spontaneous events or joy. He is miserable and consumed with worry and complaints. The other characters encourage him to see situations differently, but then he questions their intentions. When the reality of a problem becomes too much to handle, Eeyore's emotions can imprison him. The Wu-Wei principle is mentioned in the story about Eeyore's birthday. Piglet brings him a balloon, and Pooh brings him a pot filled with honey. When they are delivered to him, they are different from Pooh and Piglet's first intention. Piglet's balloon pops, and Pooh gets hungry on the way to Eeyore and eats the honey. Eeyore puts the balloon inside the useful pot, and in the end is happy with finding purpose in the unexpected. Rabbit can be described as social and bossy. He opposes over intricate details. Much like Owl, he holds his knowledge above others, but his cleverness also often makes him look foolish. He tends to devise plans that usually backfire and lead him into trouble. Rabbit does not like change of any kind. According to the book, scholars like Rabbit and Owl use big words to confuse others and make themselves feel superior to others. There is more to know than just being correct. Rabbit is said to be a Bissy-Baxen, who is a person who is constantly moving and for something that they do not have a way to get more of. They are never at peace or content with the way things are. Taoists see Bissy-Baxen as anti-meaning of the Wu-Wei and believe that they need to slow down and experience life in the present moment without fear of the future. Tigger is an overly confident character who is foolish for thinking Tiggers can do anything. He knows no boundaries, and like Rabbit is often left looking foolish when he continuously fails at achieving truth. Tigger does not think before he acts and often finds himself into trouble. Taoists say everything is connected and interdependent, as demonstrated by Tigger's reasoning for bouncing. When Pooh sings Coddleston Pie, he says, "A fish can't whistle, and neither can I," which explains the Taoist view on each person's limitations and not forcing yourself to be like anyone else or do things you are not meant to do. When mindful of these things, we create a more positive way of seeing and viewing the world. Then there is Piglet, who, unlike Tigger, knows his boundaries. He does not like to be the center of attention. He seeks the approval of others and worries a lot. He is a good friend to Pooh and a leader who shows him the value of knowing your inner self well. In Pooh's song Coddleston Pie, he says, "Why does a chicken? I don't know why," which explains the Taoist views on accepting the unknowable. Hoff refers to a time when Piglet and Pooh tried to trap the heffalump to relate to this principle of Coddleston Pie. Kanga and Roo are symbols of sacred relationships of love. A mother's love for their child is forever, and there is not much that a child can do to change their perception or love for them. They represent the union of opposites. This can be viewed as the concept of contemplating yin and yang. Rabbit does not seem to like them because they are different. He does not understand that others can be seen as unique. In Pooh's song Coddleston Pie, the phrase "a fly can't bird and a bird can't fly" explains how no one in the world is exactly like you. Taoists celebrate their inner nature, which makes each and every person unique. Christopher Robin is a daydreamer with a very good imagination. He enjoys being surrounded by his friends and enjoys playing games and going on adventures with each of them. He exemplifies the Taoist principle of nothingness and is the path to wisdom. After reading the book as a Christian interpretation, it makes good points about how people should slow down and not worry about the past or the future, but live in the present. Living in the present can be viewed as a gift from God. Each new day is a gift, and we should strive to make each day God wakes us better than the one before. We should also reflect on how we can become closer to God today. The future is promised by God only, to live eternally with Him. But what matters is that we do what we do in the present to achieve that reward. Christians also recognize that knowledge is a gift from God. Knowledge is not just a list of facts to memorize. It refers to examples, truths, and commands God wants us to know, believe, and follow. I myself often struggle with balance and making sure to spend and dedicate my time to equal parts of my life and not place any circumstance or thing above the other. I tend to be like Rabbit, often as I do not accept and deal with change well. I must remind myself frequently that change is inevitable, and it is essential to find ways to embrace and take it for what it is. I am also inquisitive, like Winnie the Pooh. I seek answers not always in a scholarly way, but from things that my peers or I have experienced firsthand. People in today's fast-paced world could find purpose in Taoism, thinking if they slow down. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness and lose sight of what is tremendously important. We cannot control things that happen, but we can control how we react to them. Resisting leads to stress and anxiety, while accepting leads to new opportunities and growth. Within each of us is an owl, a rabbit, an Eeyore, and a Pooh. We have chosen the way of owl and rabbit, and like Eeyore, we complain about the results. If we are wise, we will choose the way of Pooh. Relating the characters in this book to essential principles of Taoism gives the reader a new perspective on how to look at things in a new and profound way. Several major themes and lessons are outlined throughout the book that make the characters come to life differently and give the reader a better understanding of what the life of a Taoist is like. Through the eyes of a Taoist and reading this book, it turns out that Winnie the Pooh wasn't so silly after all. Now was he?